It's the SawCast, where real people speak that real shit on real topics every day. And I go by the name of Stevo.
And I'm Ariel with the fuck it do, y'all. Today we talking about the Diddy documentary that 50 Cent put out. You know, he's the executive producer on that. And we just want to go into, you know what I'm saying, exactly what we learned and kind of do like a high level review just in case you want to watch it.
Bit of a summary.
We want everybody to watch it. We think everybody should watch it. You know what I'm saying?
All documentaries are informational one way or another, so you know.
And it's really shot well.
Yeah, that's one.
And it's really good.
That's one of the ones where I was kind of like, how did they get some of the footage that they got? Because the way that they tell the story with the footage, the personal footage included right before he got arrested is really poetic. I'll say that.
Facts. Sure. And I feel like I don't know, it was really good, and it was me and Steven didn't watch it like 4 times, so we can make sure that we get y'all the right information and kind of like the right kind of order. But I just feel like it's definitely a great thing. And it's like a pivotal moment in hip hop culture, I feel like, because this is something that a lot of things were revealed that nobody knew, or some people didn't know. People were saying, I knew all that. We did not know some of the stuff that we learned in this documentary. And I think that it's something that, you know what I'm saying, we all should be aware of, so you can, you know, the more aware, the more you know.
The more you know, right?
You know? So let's go into the first part, the upbringing. Diddy was born to his mom and his father in New York, to his mother and his father. And his mother was basically she never really, I don't think she technically had a job per se, but when they had an interview with her when she was talking about jobs, she had little jobs here and there, but his dad was like a drug dealer, you know what I'm saying? But that's what, and it's kind of like in the documentary, like we don't know if he was necessarily that big of a drug dealer or not, but we know that he did die when like Diddy was like 5. So Diddy didn't have that much of a relationship with him, but his dad was a drug dealer. His mom was, the girlfriend of the drug dealer. Diddy grew up very privileged. Like they put him in the best clothes, and he wore the best clothes, and he went to the best schools. Right, he went to a prep school, stuff like that. He wasn't in the streets like that, even though his family, his mother was like doing street type things. And the party she would have would bring in some street type people. He wasn't really a street type dude. He was a more prep school type of dude. That's how he grew up. His mom did, like I said, I mentioned the party. She had parties. These parties would have all types of like people there, like, but they were all grown people. So, and Diddy was the only child, right? So, and Diddy was the only child, so he was always with his mom. So he was at these parties with these grown-ups, and they was doing all type of crazy stuff you can even imagine. So he was exposed to that lifestyle very, very early, and that's why he probably adopted it and stuff like that. So that was just something that he lived in. That was like, if you think about it as a kid, if you grow up into that and that's what you around all the time, then that's your reality. And if you deviate from that, then you probably won't. You know, your reality's different now. You know what I'm saying? So they're kind of shaping it to see that's where the parties came from. His mom is the reason for all the parties that came up.
For all the parties, and Diddy's always been more so of a flashier guy, a more fashionable guy, right? Mm-hmm. He created his own fashion line with Sean John, right? So he had always kind of been wanting to be out there and be on the main.
And I think that showed that is like showed how he really understood what the image would do for a person. He really understood that early. Like, sure, image was a big thing. And so because his dad and stuff was fly, and how he used to see pictures of him and how he perceived him, he perceived him as a big drug dealer. Right, we don't know if he was or not.
But his mom,
you know what I'm saying?
Mom also dressed him like that when he was younger. So she dressed him flashier. And
his friends that was talking looked at them like they were a certain caliber of people, just because of how he was dressing and moving and stuff like that. So I think that showed Diddy early what image could do for somebody. You know what I'm saying? Your perception other people's perception can shape your reality. Yeah. It could be the reality.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It doesn't necessarily have to be actually a reality. You know what I'm saying? So, and then he went to Howard University when he graduated. I mean, when he graduated from high school, he went to Howard University, but he dropped out at 19, and that's when he started
doing the music,
and he went to Uptown Records. So I'll let you go take it from there, bro.
Yeah. So with the Uptown Records, that I feel like there's a lot of negatives with this, right? You know, I will say that there's a lot of things that I don't agree with, but I will say through and through, one thing that you can not deny is his work ethic, and his push, his strive for what he believed was success, and just success in general. So some things I don't, include in being successful when I say that, but he definitely had a drive that a lot of people don't have, right? So they said in the documentary that he knocked on Heavy D's door, right? Heavy D was big with Uptown, and
he was like one of the main artists for Uptown Records, and that's the records label that Andre Harrell started, and he was the sole owner of that record label,
right? And so then he lived in the same vicinity, I would say, as Heavy D, and so then what he did is knocked on Heavy D's door consistently, right? He showed consistently that he was interested, and then eventually Heavy D gave him a chance. He talked to Andre Harrell, and then
he was knocking on Heavy D's doors so
he could talk to Andre.
He wanted him to introduce him to Andre Harrell. He was like, "Please introduce me."
And he did it. What they say for like 2 weeks straight, 4 weeks straight, something like that.
He was consistently
like
every day.
It's crazy.
The work ethic is crazy.
And then when he got in there and became an intern for Andre Harrell, what he did was everything that he could do. So they said that anything that Andre needed that wasn't already done, he would do, right? So he definitely positioned himself,
right? And he made that's something that we learn from like the 48 Laws of Power and stuff like that. When you do things like that for somebody that your leader, he was making Andre look better and stuff like that. And every time he needed anything, he got it for him, even if it was some coffee. And so when there were opportunities that came up and things like that, Andre, first person he thought about was Diddy.
For sure.
That was the first person on his mind to give him something was Diddy, because Diddy had done, even people be thinking like the little things that you do for people don't matter, but even the little bitty things that he was doing was mattering, and he was the first person on Andre's mind when something came up. So
for sure. And then with that, a part of him being the first person on Andre's mind is the reason why he excelled in the company, right? So he excelled to a level in a company into where then he was starting to be good because he became an AR, right? And then with him being an AR, he always had a good sound. Like they even said in there, like, he didn't necessarily know music notes, etc., but he knew what a good song sound like.
And a big thing about when he was up in Uptown Records, he brought Mary J. Blige and he brought Jodeci in. And a big part of Jodeci and Mary J. Blige was they already had the talent, they had the musical ability and stuff like that. But he brought the image. And he like I said, a lot of what the documentary was about was that he understood what image could do. So like he brought the image, and a lot of the image that he brought was from around the people that he was seeing.
Yeah, in Harlem.
Yep. So he was saying he brought the Harlem swag and all that, and he mixed the R&B with the streets music and the sounds and stuff like that, and then the way they presented themselves, and then that's why, you know what I'm saying, made Mary mysterious, made them. They swag a little street, you know what I'm saying?
Right, Mike Jodeci swag a little more street, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So while he was at Uptown Records, there was an incident he had a celebrity basketball game. That's when he was getting more so like known, because of course Jodeci and Mary J. Blige, they crazy. They was getting like #1 records, platinum hits, stuff like that. So everybody knew it was because of Diddy, you know what I'm saying? He was behind it. So he had a celebrity basketball game, and he didn't promote it correctly at that time. I don't think he had a party on that scale at that point in time. So they said he only spent $500 on security, and he was, like I said, he didn't promote correctly, so he had a lot more tickets out there than what actually, you know what I'm saying, the capacity of the gymnasium could hold.
What happened was the tickets had sold out, and so back then there was Rush the Door. That was a thing, right? Don't necessarily do that too much now as often. The last time I kind of seen a Rush the Door kind of ordeal was when the sneakerhead thing hit its highlight, right? When you used to have to get a ticket and stand in line for the sneakers, right? So what he did was, I think he promoted it so well that he didn't know how well he promoted it, and then people wanted to get in there so bad that they bum rushed the gymnasium doors and they stampeded and trampled each other. So they killed each other just to get into the celebrity basketball game.
Right. And that's one thing I would say that I did not know before watching the documentary. that happened. And a lot of people died, a lot of people got affected, but the thing about it was it went away. And they feel like the documentary kind of shaped it to where that was the first time Diddy understood what he can actually get away with,
and also his level of celebrity went up off of that because of popularity.
He prepared after that,
because of popularity that he gained from such an event of that magnitude, and it would have probably been still hyped, but when people died, and then he also didn't get charged with anything, and he was able to consistently continue do his thing, it was like, well, damn, he that dude.
Yeah.
And so he started. That was one of the first he's that dude moments.
Right. So after that, Diddy got a lot of notoriety from that, but also because everybody knew that he was behind Jodeci and Mary J. Blige, he started feeling himself. He started talking back to Andre. He started having more opinions. The king of the castle at Uptown Records is Andre. So he's like, you getting too out of pocket for me, and he fired him. And so what he did was reach out to one of the people that he was working with and was like, I'm finna start my own company, and it was called Bad Boy Records. And he said it was started because, you know what I'm saying, to Andre, he was like more of like, I feel like because he was more like a big son to Andre, because he actually lived with Andre at one point. And he started feeling himself and going against the grain. So he was a bad boy in that. So he had that bad boy image, and that's why he got fired. So I feel like he took that back, and then he created Bad Boy Records, and that's where it came from.
Because he just wanted to be different, and he wanted to go against what was happening because he felt like too much. It was too much just ebb and flow. So he wanted to shake the room up a little bit, and so he's like, "We bad boys, we different."
Right. And so he one thing he was doing as well is like he looked at who was like the most successful, some of the most successful record companies at the time, and one of them was Death Row Records. And he was looking and studying how was they so successful. And the one artist that he really liked and took account to was Tupac. He really liked him, and early on, Tupac did not want to fuck with did not want to fuck with Diddy at all, work with Diddy at all. But even before Tupac, because it's kind of like switched a little bit. He just was like somebody that he didn't like. He was not trying to fuck with. But he did understand that. He was looking at Death Row. I'm trying to go back to that, but he looked at Death Row. He's like, Death Row was like, what do they have over us? And it was like they had the more street feeling. So he was like, I'm looking for me a street artist. Like I need to find me a street artist, and that's how he found Biggie. And he knew that the only thing Biggie was missing, he had the talent, he had the vibe, but he didn't have the image. And so he put that image behind him, and it propelled him to a different level. Yeah. And so Biggie and Tupac, because they were like two of the top artists at the time, they had a liking to each other.
Yeah,
but
it was Pac though, because Pac was at the time technically bigger than Big. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Because Big was a little more starting off kind of sort of when Pac had already had a little momentum going. So then Pac was like, you know what? I fuck with him. And Pac in the documentary it said like Pac was like fucking with him, and he was like, okay, like I know he legit and he got talent, but I know I'm that dude, so I'm not really threatened by him. You know what I'm saying? But he also wanted to help him because he figured like he was a cool dude. He was rapping about some of the same stuff.
Yeah, like I think Pac is from New York or something like that too. So he understood that. He understood that. He understood that Biggie was a real street dude. You know what I'm saying? And he understood Diddy was not. And he understood Diddy was more of an industry dude. Like that's what
and that's why he didn't like him.
And he was like, "Oh, you're too industry. You will stab me in the back. I know what type of dude you are out the gate." You know what I'm saying? So he didn't want to fuck with him like that. And that pissed Diddy. Diddy didn't like that.
Also, you got to think too that Suge Knight, they were, allegedly they were treating their artists better over there at Death Row than they were at Bad Boys, and that's that's a thing that if you go through the history, people say that, right? People say that, and even in the documentary they said that. So with him with that feeling of I'm getting treated better here, why would I work with somebody who's not going to treat me better than I am now? So it's no point even working with you because I know I'm gonna get change working with you, and I'm gonna get dollars working with them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Also, they were saying that before Pac went to jail, for I think it was the last of rape, I believe. I think that case and him needing some money to get out of jail, was why he got signed to Pac actually got signed to Death Row Records because
Suge favor.
Yeah, Suge Knight helped him get out of jail. He paid that bond for him, and he got him out of jail. He was good. You know what I'm saying? Also, there was an incident that was talked about, and the crazy part is, like, everybody's all connected. Like, Suge was Heavy D's. No, not Heavy D's. Suge was Albie Shore's bodyguard. And he started when Suge was like with Albie Shore and everything. He was seeing how he was recording and how he was doing everything. He was like, I can do this too.
And also so how he was getting played. Mm-hmm. And he was thinking that I can do better than this.
Right. And he was originally from California, so he like, I can do better than this. I can bring this to the West Coast. That's where that came from. And so Suge, it was one night Suge went to a Diddy party with his friend
in Atlanta.
And was it in Atlanta?
Yeah.
Okay. And then actually that night Diddy actually ended up, well, not Diddy, but it was a random shooter that we don't know who it was, actually pulled a gun out and started shooting Suge's friend, and then Suge grabs Diddy to like be a shield, and then the shooter runs away. Nobody knows who the shooter is, and then he lets Diddy go, and then he leaves. But everybody feels like that's probably what started the beef, the East Coast West Coast beef. Yeah. Not necessarily. It wasn't even Tupac and
getting shot. Yeah,
it wasn't Tupac
it was before Pac getting shot.
Right. It wasn't Tupac and Biggie thing. It was. Yeah. The first thing was
Suge's
best friend, one of his best friends getting killed at a Diddy party. That's allegedly what started the beef.
And as we were saying, too, off cast, was that Uptown, right? Diddy was tied in with Uptown, and then Suge was tied into Uptown. So that's why Suge was there just with him and the homie, because he's like, oh, this is family, right? He didn't really mess with him, but you don't have to mess with everybody to go to a function.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? If y'all got mutual friends and y'all both tied in real tight with those mutual friends, you thinking it's a safe zone. Right. So that's probably what messed him up too, is that dang, I lost one of my good friends, and I'm supposed to be in a safe zone with somebody who was connected with people that I got love for.
Right. And so after that incident happened, shortly after is the incident where Pac and Biggie still didn't really have no issues with each other after that.
Yeah, nah.
You know what I'm saying? Suge didn't fuck with Diddy, but Pac don't fuck with Diddy either, so it's like, who cares? And Biggie and Tupac had their own relationship, so they was still cool. So like they wanted to. I think Diddy people was reaching out to. It wasn't even Biggie's people that was reaching out back to back to Pac. Diddy's people was reaching out back to back to Pac, like, you supposed to do a session with Pac today. So, I mean, not Pac, with Biggie today. Come to the studio, do the session. And Tupac, like, why people keep on asking me to come up there? I'm coming up there. I'm coming up there. I'm going to the studio. Yeah, I'm coming up to the studio. Why y'all tripping? But they just really was trying to get Pac up there. So Pac ended up going up there like everybody does because everybody thinks that Biggie's cool. Biggie's a big star at this time too. So like I don't need a whole bunch of security with me and everything. So Pac going into the studio by himself, Lil C's like, hey, yeah, come on up, Pac. I'm finna let you up. So Lil C's goes down the elevator. The elevator opens up. Two men with guns like, get back in the elevator, nigga. And the elevator goes back up. But those two masked men ended up shooting Tupac 5 times. And that was like solidified everything. Cause at that point, Pac was like, did Biggie set me up too? Like, cause that's your man's. So you set me up too. And it happened at your studio session. And your little nigga was telling me to come up. And he supposedly came down. I ain't seen him come down. I'm sure Pac didn't see the Lil C's come down off the elevator. Cause he didn't probably got shot at that point in time. He like, y'all niggas just trying to set me up.
Facts.
Well, who wouldn't think that?
And he had an expensive watch on, and they didn't even steal his watch. Cause usually if it's just random and somebody's trying to just rob you, they gonna steal your expensive jewelry. They didn't even steal anything
from him. They just shot him. Right. So, it was like, but and at that time, everything's alleged. They were talking about y'all. Alleged. But anyways, at that time,
but it's alleged.
Right. At that time, Diddy was supposed to be. He wanted to work with Pac. He wanted to work with Pac, and Pac was like, "I don't want to fuck with you." Like, no, he was saying "fuck you" like to that nigga. Like, he was like,
the relationship that he had with Biggie, right? Because Diddy knows one thing, that people are influenced, right? So he didn't want. I think possibly, it's all alleged, but it could be possibly that Diddy didn't want Pac and Biggie to be too cool, because he didn't want him to be influenced by somebody else. He wanted to have the ultimate influence.
Right. Yeah. And we could tell by the way that Biggie was moving and everything that he was influenced by what Diddy was talking about. He did listen to Diddy, you know what I'm saying? So fast forward to Tupac's death. Tupac and his friends and like the whole label was there. Everybody really was there. They went to Vegas to watch the Mike Tyson fight, and Tyson knocked out is it Sheldon?
Yeah, either Sheldon was his first or last name.
Yeah, but he knocked him out in the first round, and everybody was lit and
highly
everything.
Anticipated match.
Yeah, and I believe that did Tupac have beef with the dude he had?
So what happened was a member of Death Row got jumped in the mall a few days prior, and so when he got jumped, they are saying that allegedly it was an order, right? Because of the way that it happened, they said that the chain they were trying to snatch the chain, and so since they were trying to snatch the chain, then they like, what? Wait, like, why is that, you know what I'm saying, so significant? Because they're trying to snatch the chain. But also, it was rival gangs, because Suge is a Blood, and then the Crips were the people who jumped the member of
and it's supposedly
of Death Row.
Yeah, supposedly Diddy is who ordered the jumping, because they wanted death, because it was specific that a death row chain needed to be had.
Right.
And so so they was like, okay, that's connected. And we didn't even mention this, but Diddy allegedly was connected to the Crips, and when he was flying to LA, they were the security for him, because he had issues with Suge, and so you can't just roam around LA at the time with just security. Really. And the gangs not know, you know, who side you messing with. So he was more so affiliated with the Crips, and so the Bloods is the ones.
But you gotta add the guy from Harlem.
Yeah, so there was a guy from Harlem. His name was Tiny
Tip. Yes.
Yeah, but there was a drug lord from
Harlem.
From Harlem. His name was Tip.
Yeah.
Was it Tip?
Yeah.
Anyway, it was a drug dealer from Harlem that was connected to Diddy, and they think he might have been connected to Diddy because his dad and his mom. You know what I'm saying?
It was hustlers.
So that's because he used to tell everybody that was his uncle.
Right. So he was tied in like a
So he was tied in. You know what I'm saying? And so he had connections with the Crips
in LA.
And that's how Diddy was getting security. You know what I'm saying?
Allegedly.
So, and those same Crips is the ones who jumped the people at death row trying to get the death row chain.
Trying to get the chain.
Right. So fast forward to the fight. Tupac had came out to fight. They saw the dude who did the jumping. Did he do the jumping?
Yeah.
And so,
I don't know if he did the jumping, but he was.
It was a reason why
member.
they didn't like this particular dude.
He was a popular member, though.
Yeah.
He was a member of the same. He was a member of the Crips that did it. And he was a popular member of the Crips that did it. Mm-hmm. So I know for sure that's the reason why they did it.
So Tupac and his friends ended up jumping.
Oh, no, he was a part of it because they said, there you go, right there. My fault.
Right. So Tupac and his entourage, which included Suge Knight, ended up jumping that popular Crip. And then, of course, all the Crips was there that night because if you don't know, LA and Vegas is not that far from each other. Everybody from California always go to Vegas because I be there, so I know that.
Big popular fight,
of course.
They definitely gonna slide.
Yeah, so they was like, it's the perfect opportunity for y'all to clap Diddy, and Diddy had already allegedly put a hit out on Suge and Tupac for $1 million.
Yep.
So they was like, this is the best time to do it. So after the fight, Pac and Suge was supposed to go to this club 62, to do a performance and just, a club appearance because they was getting money for club appearances back then as well. And so on the way there, they got stopped by the police because Suge's music was too loud. While they got stopped by the police, they had to get out the car. And now they got out the car, people are noticing him, women noticing them, and they like, Tupac. And so they get back in the car, but they also talking to women like, hey, follow us. We about to go to Club 62. Y'all can follow us. And so the Crips, they was riding around Vegas looking for Pac, but then they had happened to be on Las Vegas Boulevard at the same time, and they heard them say Pac, so they pulled up next to him and they killed him. So they put up to him next to him and shot him. But the crazy part is they were saying that they didn't even know that, like, the police and everybody didn't even know that they was still there. They was still on the scene when the police got there, when the ambulance got there and everything. So yeah, that's how Pac died. And supposedly Diddy sent the crazy part is that the two dudes who actually did the killing didn't get paid for killing Tupac, and they actually they said they think they shot Suge in the head. They never got paid for that shit. The money went through the middleman, which was Tiny in Harlem. The money never actually got to them. Every time they kept on hitting up Tiny, like, where the money at? He like, I'm gonna get back to y'all. I'm gonna get back to y'all. And then he never fucked with them again. He cut all communication. And then somehow a restaurant or something, they said he opened after that. So, and Tiny ended up dying from, they said, cancer or something like that. So he didn't even get, nothing even happened. Nobody got clapped or anything for it. So people Tupac is gone. And Suge got shot for nothing. Like, no money or nothing. So, but it was supposedly, allegedly, because of a hit that Diddy put out. But for me, like, it wasn't necessarily like the hit is what they died from. It was more so right place at the right time. It's already a bounty out there. Let's do it. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't like, oh, Pac's gonna be here. Y'all should do it that day.
And it's also a trophy because he was such a prominent figure in the culture. So if you could do that and you could take him out, there's even though there's people that love you, there's always people that don't.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
So with you being such a prominent figure, somebody's gonna celebrate your demise.
Right. So a year after Diddy and his team and Biggie, they all kept on getting messages back to back that do not come to LA. Y'all niggas cannot come to LA. Do not come to LA. Y'all niggas try to kill. And niggas try to put a bullet in Suge's head, and then y'all fucking kill Tupac. Do not come to fucking California at all. Don't come nowhere near California. They kept telling them that. Diddy ego was like, nigga, I can go anywhere the fuck I want to go. So he ended up having a party in LA. And that was the night that Biggie actually got killed. The crazy part was that the Crips were on Diddy's side was like, hey, Biggie, you ain't, what the fuck is you doing here? And then, and and he was like, bruh, I don't want to be here. Like, I'm here because to support Diddy, but I really don't want to be here. Biggie was supposed to be allegedly in the UK, but Diddy was like, nah, he needs to make an appearance here with me. He needs to be here. Cancel that man flight. He needs to be here with me. We need to make a stand. We not no hoes type shit. So that's the reason why. It was all ego based, and that's what got Biggie killed. So,
yeah, and I do believe that with the Biggie, I ain't gonna say like I believe, but I will say that it seems pretty logical that Biggie was just wrong place, wrong time, because like once you overdo something sometimes and you know you have a feeling, a lot of times what you were feeling come true.
Yeah.
So you gotta that's a thing right there. That's a life lesson right there. Trust your intuition, because a lot of times you be right more times than not, because if you fucking around, you gonna find out.
And will. So Sean we go into the Sean incident. Sean was a rap artist for Diddy. Yep. They were in a club. They went to a club and an argument broke out and shots was fired. Sean and Diddy pulled a gun out. But allegedly everybody believes Diddy actually pulled the trigger that shot a girl in her face. But Sean ended up taking the fall for that, and Diddy ended up getting acquitted for that. So Sean went to jail for 10 years behind that. And the crazy part was about it was like they were saying that Sean barely even knew how to hold a gun, barely knew how to use it, shoot it.
That's what the one artist.
Yeah, that's what they was kind of saying. Like he barely knew. He barely knew what he was doing with the gun.
He could have been street. Back then, he could have been a street dude, and he could have been more experienced. So he probably
and Sean was saying on his interviews, he felt like his lawyer just gave up. Yeah, he wasn't even trying to.
Yeah, he said they was trying to railroad him. So he felt like they was just. So
they definitely set him up to take that fall, and that's exactly what happened. So with that, after that, or around the same time, I won't say after that. Around the same time was the Steve Style incident where. Diddy,
the Nas, it was the Nas and the Nas song.
Well, you can hate me now with
you can hate me now with
and
Diddy.
on the video,
Diddy was on a cross, and there was a prominent religious figure.
Hezekiah Walker.
That sounds about right. And he was like, "I don't think you should do that because you're making a mockery of Jesus."
Yeah, and so that's what caused Diddy to. He said, okay, I want to take it down. Steve said, I ain't taking nothing down. People is watching this video. We getting money off this video showing I'm not taking nothing down. You can't make me take nothing down. So Diddy ended up going and jumping him, get his security guards to jump him. And Steve actually went and sued him for that. And they settled out of court for $500,000. And Steve never talked about it again. They shook up. They was on taking pictures with each other. Yep. But he really don't. They were saying he really don't fuck with Diddy like that. But
PR image.
For that $500K, he was like, "We good. Just stay your ass away from me." You know what I'm saying? So that was something that he paid allegedly for it to go away. That was another incident that went away.
Supposedly.
Next we going into making the band. At that time, Diddy was wild. He was wilding. He got Biggie killed. Like they feel like people was feeling like he got Biggie killed. Steve Style, he got Sean locked up. He made Sean take the fall for him. All types of stuff. His artist was like, I don't want to be on this label no more. I'm ready to go. Like I gotta get out of here. So he was losing all his artists. So he like, I gotta find more artists.
Either by death, jail, or separation.
Yeah, and how he was moving, he wasn't paying people either. That was another thing. It was a thing out there that he does not pay people, and he does weird things to the contracts. Because back then, contracts were paper; they weren't emails or anything. So like things could be changed. There wasn't PDF; they wouldn't lock PDFs. Right. You know what I'm saying? So things could be changed. So. They was like he not paying us, people he not getting paid, people dying, people going to jail. I don't want to be on this label no more. So he had to figure out another way to get more artists, and so that's what he started doing, making the band. And at that time, American Idol was out, stuff like that. That was a big thing. So he's like, I'm gonna do my own version, and that's where Making the Band came from.
For sure.
And so they talk about Aubrey O'Day and how one thing I think that was
Danity Kane.
Yeah, she was in Danny King. She was on Making the Band. Yeah. So one thing I'll say, one thing I'll say about her is that she mentioned her mother. She was going to school to be a lawyer.
A lawyer.
And her mom was like, "You too creative for this. I see this thing in the newspaper, you should try to go and audition for Diddy. And that's what she went and did. Crazy. What to me is crazy is that at that time they did hear things about, people had heard things about Diddy. That generation knew about Diddy. This is the same generation to me that
R. Kelly generation too.
The same generation of R. Kelly. Like, y'all knew that these niggas had these weird things, like tendencies, and y'all was sending y'all's daughters to go.
Rumors.
Y'all was sending y'all daughters to go with them. That's so weird to me. But anyway, crazy. That's what happened with that. Work. So yeah, they talk about RB a lot, but I'll let y'all read. I'll let y'all watch it and see what that is going on. But that stood out to us like, yo, mama is the one who sent you to Diddy, knowing Diddy be doing all this, don't pay nobody, crazy. Getting people killed, getting people.
She could have been his lawyer.
That was crazy.
Wild work.
Yeah. At the same time, that's the same time where his partner who opened up Bad Boys with him had 25% of the company. Diddy came in with a bat, put it up against his head like, hey, you gonna sign this or you about to get whacked? And he was like, all right. He was like, but you gonna give me my 25 back? And he was like, yeah, I'm gonna give you your 25 back. He didn't get that man that 25% back. He ain't got no money from that. Like, he really wasn't even getting paid like that. And then he don't have 25% of the company no more either. So he really messed him over. You know what I'm saying? He didn't get anything from that. So after Diddy got complete control of the company, because 75% was under his mama's name, and that was he put 75% of the company under his mama's name because he didn't want the victims from the gymnasium incident that died to get any money from him. So he put 75% of the company under his mama. Yeah. So 100% of it was under his mom now, and 25%, that 25% that the other dude had is gone. So yeah, he supposedly ripped him off too, from what they trying to say. And so from there, that's where he opened up with that 25% extra money. He started doing deals with like other people to get Sean John. Sean John made him like $400 million a year. And then he did Ciroc. And he was like, he's a partner on Ciroc and everything. And they was like if you can sell a certain amount of units, we'll give you $100 million bonus. Well, we gave you $100 million bonus because we want you to sell so many units. And he did that. He sold way more than what they thought he was going to sell. So that was a lot of liquid cash that came in at one time. So
that was kind of like another ascension of fame.
Yeah, like Making the Band, Ciroc, and Sean John took him to a different level.
And then he just...
Because Making the Band was more of like, they said pop culture because it was on MTV. It was like one of the biggest like shows on MTV. So they took them to another level. So for sure, which is crazy. So we went from Making the Band, Sean John to Ciroc, to his relationship with Cassie. That's when Cassie came into effect. Cassie was dating Ryan Leslie when she was about 18. Ryan was like, okay, we want to make this a bigger thing, so we're going to partner with Diddy. So he went and showed Cassie over to Diddy. Diddy loved her. He wanted to work with her, but the issue...
obsessed with her, really.
The issue was that the issue is that Cassie was working with Ryan, and Ryan had a big... He had a big what, say so, or I'll say influence over Cassie's career
and control, really, at that point in time.
Because her song was because of him.
Yeah, that her first hit song, maybe her most notable song, really.
Facts. So, and that's, hey, after that he definitely wanted to. It seemed like he wanted to work with Cassie on his own. He did not want Ryan hovering over them for him to work with Cassie. And eventually Ryan ended up not coming to any of the sessions anymore and ended up just being Cassie and Diddy. And then Diddy ended up signed to Cassie, of course, because she by herself. She a 19-year-old child, a 10-album contract with him. Ain't that crazy?
Crazy. It is, but it's not when you think how masterful he is with plans. And then you think about how influential he is. And one steady thing that kept happening throughout the whole thing was him promising, right? He was good at finding people that needed or wanted something, and he felt like as long as he could dangle that image in front of them, if they would go for it, he would tie him into it, right? So that was a running theme in there. Like, he would always promise a lot, and you would work with him, you put the work in, and I think that's an important thing as well. Like, listen to what people say, but pay attention to what they do.
Yeah,
that's a very important lesson that comes out of this as well.
So his relationship with Cassie was violent. It was during the same time that he had a relationship with Kim, which was his first baby's mom, which actually is Albie Shore's ex-girlfriend that he
adored so much that he pestered her until she gave him a date.
Yeah, he went every day, talked to her every day until she gave him a date. And she was more so like from everybody was saying, she was a more outspoken type of woman and stuff like that, versus what Cassie was kind of meek and everything, but also Cassie was younger. So yeah, Kim had all his babies while he had his girlfriend with Cassie, and they were doing that at the same time. They were saying that he had been violent allegedly towards Kim as well as Cassie. You know what I'm saying? Cassie was showing up with bruises, and he made her shave her head off and all this. That's was in the court documents from Cassie. She was saying he's the one who made her shave her head and everything. He's the one who made her do all the changes that she was doing. Every time Cassie would be like, okay, when we gonna do my album, I want to work on the album, he'd be like, he'll try to push it to the side and stuff like that. Like, he wasn't allowing her to actually be the artist that she wanted to be. And a big thing from, I think, what the court documents that I was reading was that he was saying that because I don't think Diddy thought Cassie was that talented musically anyway. He just wanted her around for her to be there, for him to be with her. It wasn't necessarily that she was a talented artist, from what the court documents was saying.
I think after he got control, it really was like, it's that thing to where you get something, and once you get it, you take advantage of it, and then if you can have it the way you want it, then now you can create whatever scenario you want to. So he was always good at selling you a dream, but then giving you his reality.
Yeah, and they brought on allegedly one of the prostitutes, the men that Diddy was contracting to deal with him and Cassie, and he was kind of explaining what they were doing. I'll let you guys watch that and really listen to that. But it was a lot of sexually deviant things, and Diddy was real sexually deviant, and I think that from what the documentary was saying, he probably got more sexually deviant when he got on drugs and stuff like that. And the more power that he was getting, the more deviant he was becoming. And they were saying also, like, allegedly there's some times where they saw him doing these parties and these freak offs with his children. Some of his sons were involved in some of them too, and knew about things. And they were saying it was another alleged incident of a shooting that happened with his son as well. So they was trying to bring in that some of his sons are also involved in the freak offs and the weird deviant things that he was doing, and the stuff that he was doing, like the moves that he was making, which was very interesting. So we fast forward now to the Rico case. Diddy got locked up last year, September 2024, for Rico and prostitution. Basically taking Rico.
Like that, transporting.
Yeah, Rico is just when you do crimes through a business that you establish business, and you use the money and stuff like that to commit crimes. So that's basically what he got locked up for. Because it was like prostitution, it was extortion, it was kidnapping, all that what they were saying in the case. Yeah. And that's the reason why it tied into Bad Boy, and that's why it's a Rico. You know what I'm saying? Biggie. Diddy got acquitted for all that. And he only got convicted. Well, he got charged for Rico, but he got convicted for the prostitution part of it. But the Rico is completely out. So Diddy got 50 months, and he got 50 months time served, and he been there since September. So maybe like 3 years left. I don't think that he'll probably do the whole 3 years, so he'll be out probably like 2. I feel like.
We'll see.
We'll see. But yeah, so within the RICO case, we find out that Diddy is like, we talk about kidnapping that was done, extortion, things with Kid Cudi. Kid Cudi was somebody that Cassie was wanting to deal with, and she supposedly was with Diddy at the time when she was trying to deal with him. Diddy found out. He went and confronted Kid Cudi about it. His assistant was also aware of Cassie dealing with Cudi as well. Right. And that really pissed Diddy off, and so Diddy went to go get his assistant to confront Cudi. Yeah, but his assistant didn't want to go, so she framed it as a kidnapping. The jury didn't believe it. Right. Didn't look at it as a kidnapping. They were like, you were his assistant. Right. So you should have went with him, and right. You knew that he was doing something. You knew that he was getting cheated on.
Right, and you know what the fuck was going on.
And you knew where Kid Cudi lived at. So how was he going to go find out where Cassie was, where he was living at without you going?
And even in there, the interesting thing about her as well is the fact, is that she hit up Cassie too and was like, "Girl, he finna go crazy if you don't."
And Cassie was like, available. "I'm finna come.
All right, come get me.
Come get me."
Like I'm like, so she was communicating, so she was playing both sides. So the thing is, she knew what was going on, I believe, because ain't no way that you can be his assistant and not know what's going on. Like, some things were kind of obvious, but then she also had a relationship with Cassie just because she was like, you feel me? Like she was on some, like, she just felt for her or something. It was something for her, that Cassie, that she was like kind of cool with. Because to be his assistant but still keeping some stuff from him, like that is crazy.
Right.
When you're supposed to have more loyalty to him than her. And
I think another interesting thing was that they had like 2 jury members come on who actually was the jury, like, and they were part of the jury, crazy. And they were not supposed to be looking at or even like making eye contact or anything with Diddy, but one of the jury members was saying like she looked at him, and sometimes when Capricorn Clark was talking, I was looking at Diddy, and we was both like, yeah, she's probably not. I'm like, what? Like, you're like, what?
But I feel like, but
you're not. He's not. He's not. Like he don't fuck with you like that. That was kind of weird. Okay, I don't know.
I forgot what the juror's name is because I think they put juror.
Yeah, they ain't put her name because they ain't
want the number because
her to get harassed because she goofy. She goofy.
I don't ever think.
And the dude was goofy too, to me.
And well, to you,
he was a misogynist
for your reasons.
He was a misogynist.
But I feel like the lady was really capitalizing off her opportunity. I feel like they was like, look, you can get on this camera if you say such and such. I feel like she really was just capitalizing off the opportunity.
She was definitely like a fan of Diddy. Like,
yeah, she was a fan of Diddy, and in so many ways she admitted that she was a fan of Diddy. But then she also was just on there for the camera time, and she was making the best of it. Making the best of it.
And I don't like how the jury people was saying like, if I did something, then they was gonna make me go home, and it was like, as a jury member, once you want to go home, you know what I'm saying? You want to be here all day. You know what I'm saying? That's why I know that it wasn't just for like for justice. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Y'all really want to be one of the jury members in Diddy's case because it was Diddy. It wasn't necessarily for that, but I think that was kind of weird. But what else? What else can I say about the jury members? They was saying that the whole Capricorn Clark, her whole testimony, they was like they didn't believe nothing she was saying.
Really?
They was like she was overly emotional, and it happened 10 years ago, which is crazy. Like I was just like taken aback by that. I was like,
I think honestly with the Capricorn Clark thing, I think that really with her, it was like once she really sat back and internalized what happened and what she okayed, I feel like her stance changed because she felt the guilt in that. You know what I'm saying? Because she was involved in it and she felt the guilt. So I feel like she didn't, just because of how she really actually felt, she didn't want to be super honest and say that, hey, I knew that some things were a little abnormal, but because of the position that I had, I wanted to keep
and what
it.
she thought she was doing for the culture. She kept saying
The culture thing was crazy. The culture thing was crazy. I'm like, what are you talking about? Cause she was like, well, if I did that, but then for the culture, I'm like, for the culture.
Yeah. So I think also another thing I will say to that is dang, I forgot. I think it was on top of my head. Oh yeah. Overarching thing about it is everybody who said something about Diddy, except for one person, said that Diddy sexually assaulted them in some type of way. That's what they're alleging. Like crazy. He sexually assaulted him in some type of way. Crazy. And a lot of them, he did it when they didn't even know that they were being sexually assaulted. A lot of drugs was involved. He was putting drugs in the drinks that he was giving people. He was putting drugs in the oils or the lotions and everything that they was doing. Like he was putting drugs in, so they wouldn't even know. Like eventually, you pass out, wake up, don't even know where you at. So like that was crazy. Wild. And then one thing I'll say too, the Don case came up. So Don Diddy Dirty Money with Kalisha, something like that. The other person on Dirty Money, she was just talking about how she made a statement and said that Diddy didn't do anything to her. But even in what she was saying, she was like, it was sometimes where I didn't know what happened or I did black out. And it was like one time I came to his house and he was in his drawers and we made music.
No, the first time.
Well, one of his houses, yeah.
No. She said the first time she came to his crib, he had came out in his drawers and he was rehearsing a song. And then she automatically jumped into character and was like.
And there was times where she blacked out and didn't know what the fuck was going on. You know what I'm saying?
Honestly, look here. If I'm doing anything with somebody and they get that personal immediately before
But then she also say that she never seen anything. But she said, so her statement said, I never seen anything. But Dawn, she said her and Diddy was acting weird. So it's like, how you didn't see nothing?
But then they was acting weird.
But then they was acting weird. So what's weird? What was weird?
And so
Don's case says that her and Kalina got sexually assaulted, sure. And she seen Kalina get sexually assaulted, and it was times where Kalina was completely out of it. So maybe Kalina don't even remember. But then Aubrey said that a lady hit her up and said that she saw Aubrey getting sexually assaulted, and Aubrey doesn't even remember that.
Aubrey also said within that statement that I wanted to erase some things from my memory. I don't know exactly what she meant.
Said she wanted to erase. She said she wanted to erase when that lady called her.
Nah, I don't think that's what she was saying.
Oh, like she wanted to erase some of the trauma, like from that time.
I feel like because it was said in that way that you could take it that way. But I just listened to exactly what she said, and she was like, I just wanted to forget some things, and I was like, that might have been something she wanted to forget.
Yeah. So to wrap this up, Diddy was accused of. In this documentary, people dying, and him not caring, setting people up to go to jail, kidnapping, sexual assault, rape, not paying people, what I'm trying to say, something about people contracts, changing people's contracts, and manipulating contracts. I'll say that, hiring lawyers for his artists so that the lawyers could advise them to do certain things that they wouldn't normally do. I think that's where the term came from, where you should hire your own lawyers.
Right.
So he was accused of doing all of this, and the documentary supposedly shows evidence of all that. So my recommendation, I won't say my recommendation is, I feel like, every time we talk about stuff like this, even in our books, I feel like you should go read it because it's a part of history. You know what I'm saying? It's a part of It's a part of hip hop history. Whether you believe everything that's in it or not, whether you think he's a bad person or not, I feel like you still should be aware of of what's going on and around you and what we talking about in hip hop culture, because we living through it right now.
For sure.
And this is something that his nemesis 50 put into play, but I don't think that people understand that 50's baby mother was one of the women that was a part of the RICO case that testified against Diddy and said that she was only getting $10,000 for doing sexual acts and doing prostitution type of things for Diddy, even though she was supposed to be getting paid more. You know what I'm saying? So it's also a overarching thing of Diddy taking people's women, and obviously 50 Cent's baby mama was one of them, because she definitely was one of the ones who was dealing with Diddy. So I think that needs to be taken into account, something that you can think about when you're watching it as well. But and honestly, I think the craziest part too is that these are not everybody. This is not even like a 1% of the people who got affected by Diddy. This is only like a couple, 4 or 5 people. It's so many more people who are affected by this, and so many more people who didn't want to talk, and so many people are scared to talk. So I'll say that about it, but let's just go ahead, Stevo.
So it was well put together, is what I'll say. It was a good body of work. With me saying that, I'm talking about the body of work, the way that it was crafted, the way that they put the scenes together, the way that they got the footage of him right before he got arrested, and then the way that they told the story along with that footage of him getting arrested. And I would say pay attention, because there's certain things that they say in there, and I'll give y'all one. They said something about on episode 3, they said something about a Frank something. I don't know what they were saying, but then if you look down, you see the MacBook said Frank's MacBook Pro. So pay attention. It's a lot of stuff in there. And then even when you were saying the about the killing, right? When they killed him, I did see a few folks, if you pay attention to the left side of your screen when the ambulance is on there, I did see a couple of brothers, black men, and I was like, damn, is that them? You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying that was him, because I don't know if that was him or not, but it was a couple of brothers after they showed after the recording, and then they showed the Tupac car. Then they did see the ambulance, and on the left of the ambulance there was some black dudes. I said, damn, that could have been them. I don't know, but pay attention in there. I will say it was put together well. Some things are told short form, but then you get the documentaries and they long form, right? So it did educate, you know what I'm saying? I would take this and when you watch it, when you view it, just go ahead and just pay attention, right? And then take whatever lesson you learn from this. Either one, view it as strictly just information, or 2, take some lessons out of it. But either way, it was put together well. It's kind of crazy how things do happen, and I would just say always pay attention and always trust your intuition.
And it's the SawCast.
It's the SawCast.
Thank you guys for watching. Like, share, subscribe. Let us know if there's anything that you want us to talk about. If you feel some type of way about the Diddy thing, put it in the comments. I'll really appreciate you guys watching and really messing with us and everything. And I hope this is like a real informational type of podcast.
That's quick summary.
Yeah, we just wanted to do a high level, nothing crazy to go in depth, because we'd be here all day. We already been here for like almost 45 minutes. So so we just wanted to basically just document us and how we feel and how we viewed it and everything at the time, because this is history. So we definitely feel like everybody should go watch it. But like I said, like, share, subscribe, and thank y'all for watching. We'll see y'all next couple weeks.